mentioned obviously been at Vegas before a couple of years ago, and you've come back, and it's a constantly evolving and growing city and sports city. What's your take coming back to Vegas, and I guess some of the opportunities to engage the Vegas markets with the lights?
Yeah, they continue to add more and more entertainment for the entertainment capital of the world. Like, they never stop growing. And so when I was here the first time, it was the Vegas Golden Knights and the Las Vegas Aces. And of course, you had the Aviators, but they hadn't yet moved into their brand new ballpark. And now you've got the Raiders, you've got the Henderson Silver Knights, you've got lacrosse, you've got more and more and more, right? So I think that's always going to be a challenge, but I'm a big believer that there's enough room for everybody. And if we just got to focus on ourselves. So for me, this market is so interesting. A lot of what folks will be seeing from us coming out this season and like the marketing space. And it's really about like the duality and the dichotomy of this city, really leaning in two areas. You've got the locals and the tourists, and both are critically important. We probably lean in a little bit more local, given our location, given our status. But I think there's a massive opportunity for us to cater to two sides of that coin. And so it's such a fun city. It's one of the biggest things that I continue to be impressed by when it comes to Las Vegas is, especially in comparison to anywhere else I've been. I can't say that every team that I've worked for had the strongest relationships with the other teams in the cities. It always seemed like maybe there was a little bit of competition.
Yeah,
frenemies, absolutely. I think what's really cool about Las Vegas is myself and my head of comms, who also came with me here from Charlotte, we probably expected a little bit for us to be a little bit harder to maybe get some media attention and to have to fight through some of the other teams to get our piece of the market. And Las Vegas has shown us to be a very pro Las Vegas team. So they want to take care of their own. They want to support their own. It is a Vegas versus everybody because the rest of the world looks at Vegas in a certain light. And so it's been really cool because the other teams have been so willing to share resources, help, reach out, prop us up, as well as the media here who has been like coming to us with the desire to cover us and give us some airtime. And it's been really cool to see in a city like this how much they care about taking care of their.
It is very much, an outsider perspective, and everyone who comes to Vegas, they come as a tourist, they see the strip, they see all the lights, and they just, like, they don't even realize there's a whole local community there. There's people that live in Las Vegas, that love the area, that count themselves as locals. And every time I talk to people and the sports side of, aside from, the Grand Prix dropping in and the NBA Cup dropping in, but when you've got a local presence, you do get that local support, and it is that balance of, we need the locals behind us because it gets back to that sense of club and identity and all the key bits that you sort of see as vital to a fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I think the other part of it is, I guess the part that is a way to really connect with the community is doing that stuff in the community. Is that a big part of what you do at Lights FC to, one, bed into the community, but also do it as a fan outreach exercise?
Yeah. So for us, we sat down as a leadership team, and we take this as a blank slate. We're a club with a little bit of history since 2018, but we look at this as a complete rebuild. And so one of the things we did is we sat and said, what were our pillars? What are the things that we want to value above all else? And how are we going to build this club? And the first thing was Vegas first. Everything that we do centered around the notion that we want to prioritize Las Vegas. We want to prioritize the community. That doesn't mean we're not going to do some things on an international or global stage because of how global the sport is, but we always want to be thinking Las Vegas first. And so, this club had some challenges prior to Jose. I think back a couple years ago, there was an affiliation with LAFC that, to be honest, Shawn, it wasn't great. You had players coming in from out of market on match days. There wasn't a staff here. Really hard to build a sense of community when you don't have people in the market. And so for us, it was about building relationships, making sure our club was here, making sure our players are part of community initiatives, and all of the outreach and conversations that we've had with our corporate partners has been first and foremost, how do we build the community? Like, what are some of the efforts that are important to you and how can we help support it? So that community outreach for us is a really important piece as we continue to build this club.